Continuing on. So, in the words of this individual, come join the murder. Oh, you're like, what? That's why people want to come to the United States. Come to the murder. Come join the murder. Well, what does that mean? Well, the United States, the daughter of Babylon, exists in death. It's full of warmongers, pirates, and thieves, and murderers, and plunderers, and pillagers. And last I checked, the pirate nation, the pirate empire, because it is empire, 50 states, it's a nation, 50 nations empire, or more. It's consolidated more. It's got the Philippines and Japan and whoever else it took over in its warmongering. It's probably got, and her children, it's Psalm 137, Baruch, so blessed is he that dasheth her children against the rocks. So, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Netherlands, Japan. These are the children of the daughter of Babylon. But anyway, come join the murder. When you're a warmonger and you steal, and that was a quote, an exact quote, Donald Rumsfeld. We will give you a carpet of gold or a carpet of bombs. So the warmongers, the murderers, the pirates show up to some little country, any country really, and say, hello, we're here to privatize all your resources and give it to 500 people that dwell in the daughter of Babylon and her children. And we're going to install an energy harvesting mechanism, privately chartered central bank. And all your resources belong to us. So, all your natural resources belong to 500 individuals. And they're going to profit. And in an exact quote, we steal your stuff from you and sell it back to you for a profit. That's the exact quote. So why is it that so many individuals want to come to the United States? Because they want to come join the murder. They want the delicious living that Scripture says. They live deliciously. Well, why? They don't have to work. The slave labor of the second world, and especially the third world, is what supports the delicious lifestyle of the United States, the warmonger death cult nation. And so everything here is free. Everything is free. You can live here for free and live the good life for free. You can have a free house, free car, free air conditioner. I was like, wow. I mean, I've been pretty poor all my life, and even I've had air conditioners, plural. And come to find out, I guess only 5% of homes is it the UK or Europe have air conditioning? I was like, what? 90% of all homes in the United States have air conditioning. They give you free air conditioners here. Do you need a free phone? Here, have a free phone. Do you need a free air conditioner? Here, have a free air conditioner. Do you need a free house or a free apartment to live in? Here, have a free apartment. Do you need a free car? Here, have a free car. Free food, free healthcare. Everything in the United States is free. Everything. Just come join the murder. Come join the murder. Anyway, I digress. That probably should have been another recording. So, in the last 6,000 years, the cabal, the evil spirit like a frog that comes out of the mouth of the beast, Revelation 16:13, spiritual people, these white warmongers, spiritual warmongers who don't want to be servants and clean up all the fecal matter. Nope, they don't want to be the servants of all. No, they want to be the gods. We got this God complex going on. We're the demigods, and we're the gods, and you should serve us. No, you got it all backwards. The Scripture tells you got it all backwards. It's all upside down and backwards. So they want to be worshipped as gods, and y'all exist to serve us gods. Anyway, so that's why everybody wants to come flood into the daughter of Babylon, the United States. Come join the murder and live the good life here. Live the easy life. Don't have to work. Just sit on your fat behind and eat your chocolate cake. How many pieces of chocolate cake have I gotten for free in the last 2 days? 4? delicious living in the daughter of Babylon. Yes, destruction and death are coming, but, living the good life until then. So the Spirit chided with mankind for the last 6,000 years, and that has come to an end. And I'll probably do a separate recording on the ages of man. I've already covered that already, the 4 ages of man recently in this 6,000 years. But now the war is back on now. And the ark of beings, I keep seeing the really big picture. There's all sorts of stuff going on in the ark of reality. It doesn't look like there's much going on right here right now, but there's sure a whole lot of stuff going on in the ark of reality. And it's gonna be felt here. It's gonna be like a surprise attack when Delta Capricorn and whatever else. In fact, it says there in Isaiah, I think it's Isaiah 28. It says, he does his strange work. It says, that the overflowing scourge that sweeps the hail, that sweeps away the refuge of lies. Day by day it shall take you, and you shall be trodden down by it. As he does his strange work. He does his strange work, because it's not coming in the realm of energy. He says, I'm not going to meet you as a man. So it's not going to be things you're going to be able to figure out in the realm of energy. No, this is coming out of the ark. This is coming out of eternity. This is coming out of the Olympus Asgard reality. It's coming out of other dimensions and realities. You're not going to have any clue what's going on. It's different. It's technologies and other dimensions. It's coming out of time. It's coming out of dimensions. It's technologies and other dimensions. Ain't shit you gonna be able to do about it. So that's this history and this timeline of what's going on. And I'll throw this one in because now I've got time and I've completed the timeline. The cabal and the synagogue of Satan and the other individuals that exist in death, the promoters of LGBTQ, all those that exist in death, they are the ones that have made a covenant with the angel of death and the power of death. These are the servants. They are not the king. And so there's a specific message. This is a specific word, the word of Yua. I don't remember. In fact, I don't. It's actually, maybe I do know. It's king. The king says, you know the angel of death, and you know the power of death, but you do not know the king of death. You have only ever known the servants. And the servants, the master was away, and Jimmy cracked corn, and I don't care. And so for that 6,000 years, the angel of death and the angel of death was exerting undue influence upon the power of death, which is one of the 2 seraphim that was connected to mankind. The ark of beings said, okay, we're going to be good now. We're going to stop handing out swords and helmets and weapon systems to mankind to kill each other. And the ark of beings said, we're all going on vacation. And to keep things going somewhat orderly here on Earth, 2 neutral sources of power were connected to Earth to keep things running and moving here on the Earth. And this is the eagle seraph of the Shaddai reality and the calf seraph of the Olam reality. And that's why you see the symbols of the birds and the calf all over the place. So the bull of Wall Street and the Nazi Germany, they were using the same power to struggle amongst themselves. The Nazis had, I guess, some good ideas, but ultimately they were struggling in energy with temporary power. They did not have, that I know of, correct ARCA instruction. They just had found a source of power, and they struggled with the other participants of power at that time, but the other participants of power were bigger and more numerous, and they were the eugenicists. They were the evil spirit like a frog that comes out of the mouth of the Antichrist. These are all the three frog spirits, Revelation 16:13. And then Muhammad and Islam, which is the frog spirit, the evil spirit, comes out of the mouth of the false prophet. These are the three death forces that have been spreading out over the earth in order, thousands of years old. The Cabal, the Synagogue of Satan, and the other groups that are aligned and exist in death. Then Muhammad and Islam's been around for hundreds of years, and the eugenicists for tens of years since its founding or its release spiritually and activation on the earth with Darwin and his cousin Dolan and the publishing of his book, The Origin of Species. And that was the founding of the modern eugenicists movement. And that death force, which actually is pretty predominant right now. I was shown in a dream or a vision about 5 months ago, somewhere between 3 and 8 months ago, that the eugenicists actually have pretty much become predominant. They've actually taken substantial control of the earth away from the Cabal. They've actually, that was the reason I was told by Daniel for World War II. The Cabal was actually at war with the eugenicists. Japan and Nazi Germany were the two predominant hotbeds of eugenics and eugenicism at that time, and the eugenicists are actually a substantial threat to the Cabal, because the Cabal just wants to murder and kill everybody, and because they worship death, then we're just going to kill and murder everybody. Eugenicists are a little different in their death force. They're at war with the weak. They want people to be smart and intelligent, and so they want to exterminate anybody who's low IQ. Anybody with an IQ under 135 is to be purged by them or rendered incapable of reproducing. So that's what the eugenicists are up to. And they've become predominant. They're all just death forces. They're all at war with each other. Actually, all three of these. Then there's the other. These are the three groups that are struggling for control of the United States: the eugenicists, the Cabal, and a splinter group of the Cabal, the Quiet Regime Change people, the Quiet Weapons for Quiet War Surveillance Society under Obama. These three different groups are struggling for control of the daughter of Babylon now in foreign policy. A nightmare now, because there isn't one group in control of the United States now. It's three. So it's like Pelosi goes over to Taiwan. She's not Secretary of State. What's she doing over in Taiwan acting like Secretary of State? Well, that's because there's three groups now. So each one of the three groups are busy trying to represent their interests internationally. That's an example of the fracturing and the general destruction and death that's coming upon the United States, the daughter of Babylon. Anyway, I'll conclude this recording. Or will I? Now I want to continue a little bit more on the life force aspect. So, spiritual people, there have been these 12, between 9 and 12 forms of mankind. Proto-humans, subhumans, humans, mankind. This evolution that's been taking place for 500 million, a billion years, whatever. And I've got a list. Daniel went through this big list of all the types of the evolution of mankind, and then the appearance of this most recent one 50,000 years ago that's so different. Now, if my theory is correct, again, why all this here on the earth? Well, we got these spiritual white people that are supposed to be the priests for all the dark-skinned people that they don't have any contact with the celestial reality. They do have the free upgrade. That's the interesting thing. It's not just the white people that can be spiritual now, or they were created spiritual, but now the parable, the little ray of hope in this, because there's no plan or future here for any of the energy beings. The overwhelming vast majority of individuals humans. Even the legal industry is very careful to point this out. There's a big difference between humans and mankind. Genesis 1:27, energy only people who are not spiritual, and Genesis 2:7, white people. The difference between persons and mankind is spelled out again in the U.S. Constitution, the difference between persons and people. Persons are the energy only, Genesis 1:27, men and women, and Genesis 2:7 are the white people. They're spiritual. They know how to run and rule things because they have access to the spirit world. They know how to run things. And they, of course, they got this demigod thing going on too. We got this God complex thing going on. They're not doing it the right way. And so there really isn't, per se, a plan for any of the energy beings. They're all just going to get wiped out. There's billions of people, persons here that there's no plan for. There's no plan for them. But because the white people said, well, we're not interested either. We want to be like the rest of the energy beings, and we like the booze, coke, and hookers and tell lie vision. We don't want to be spiritual and be servants and have to work and deal with all the crap and be servants of everybody. No. We don't want to be servants. We want to be demigods, and we want everybody to be our slaves. So that's the parable in the Messianic scriptures where it's the wedding supper of the Lamb. The father, the householder says, I've slain my beasts. I think this is how I've got it. And it says, bid, he says, I've bid the guests to come to the wedding. They all began to make excuse. And if you really know the nature of these excuses, they're totally lame. One says, I've taken a wife and I must go to her. Are you kidding me? You've got a wife and you're not with her? Lame excuse. You wouldn't be anywhere else but with her. Lame excuse. Another one says, I've bought a business and I must go look at it. Wait a minute, you bought something and you didn't even look at it? Lame excuse. So it says they all began to make excuse. Oh, we don't want to come to the wedding. So the father is like, I got all these spiritual people that are supposed to be doing their thing for me, and none of them are interested. They want to all go off and be energy only and booze, coke, and hookers and tell lie vision. And so the father says to his servants, go into the highways and to the byways and compel them. Just go drag people, bring them. I don't care who they are. Bring them to my wedding. I'm going to have guests at my wedding, and I don't care who they are. And so this is the hope, because if and I say if, don't yell at me. I'm not even going to bother having comments on it, I don't think. Would it be righteous of a creator to save one group and not another? And why would there only be a small group of 144,000 spiritual individuals that he's going to save and let everybody else die in the overthrow and not give anybody else a chance? And that if you're not white and you're not spiritual, he's not going to do anything for you. And so he has made a way. And he's offering this free spiritual upgrade, saying, okay, you're not spiritual, free upgrade. You weren't spiritual, you weren't born spiritual, and none of your people have ever been spiritual, probably, ever. In the 500 million to billion years that your people have been in existence, and the innumerable ones that are all throughout the galaxies, because guess what? The only place there's white people is here on this little rock. Guess what? All the other people are everywhere else. Surprise! They're all dark-skinned people everywhere, all throughout the universe. And they've been, apparently, if my guess is correct, they've been cut off from their God. So their conditions are absolutely terrible. You've got, if you've ever seen dark-skinned people and the way they treat each other and how they act toward each other and their living conditions, it's really bad. And they need training and instruction and education. And there's only one kind of people that can do that. People who are spiritual. These are individuals who are not spiritual. So they're living like animals because they kind of are animals. But the creator is, the Shaddai is like, no, I don't want you to live like animals. I want you to come to a place of greatness. And I got these spiritual people. They're supposed to be doing that, but no, they want to be like the brown-skinned people.